Hello friends, this is Chetan Mehta from Skillcubator, and this is a short video on demonstrating the Jira tool and see what are the different types of issues we can use as part of the product backlog grooming. Right, so this is going to be a very short video, and I've already set up the Jira tool and I'm admin on this tool. So let's go straight to the tool. I'll go to the settings, go to issues, select the issue types, and we can see that there are different types of issues we have right now. We have bug, epic, spike, technical task, user story, and subtask. I can also add some more issues depending on if I have admin rights. If you don't have admin rights, you won't see this option. But since I'm admin on this project, I can add some more issues. So let's understand what exactly are these issue types before we can add them into the backlog. So first one is a bug. So bug is nothing but a defect in the system, right? It's a gap in the system which needs to be resolved, which needs to be fixed so that the quality of the application software can be enhanced and we can meet the customer's expectations and requirements. So that's a bug. Second one is epic. So epic is nothing but a large story. It's a big user story that needs to be decomposed into smaller components, smaller stories. A spike. A spike is some sort of work, some sort of issue that needs to be further investigated, researched before we can take it in any sprint. Right? So that's basically the spike. A technical task is a work that is technical in nature that needs to be done towards the completion of the sprint or the project. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, from the business analyst perspective, user story is one of the most important issue type you will be using, because as we know that user story is the requirement written from the user perspective, and that is what we will be using this issue type to capture all the requirements coming from the PO, product owner, or any extended business stakeholder. And the subtask is some sort of work component that is a subset of a parent issue. It can be a user story, it can be a technical task, but there has to be a parent issue under which you will have a subtask that is owned by one of the Scrum team members. It can be a developer, tester, anyone else who is part of the Scrum team. He or she will be owning the subtask. Right? So that's basically the issue types we have. We have the bug, epic, spike, technical task, user story, subtask. You can also add some more issue types by clicking add issue type. But as I said, you will need to have admin rights before you can add some more issue types and customize it based on your needs and requirements. I'll click cancel here because I think we have enough issue types. We don't need any further issue types. Okay, so since now we know that all these different issue types, let's go to the project and add some of them into the backlog. So I go back to my projects, select the project. I have two projects here. I'll select the online marketplace. Oops, not here. Go back to this. Okay, there you go. So as you can see here, my backlog is empty. I have 0 issues in it. I want to add some more issues. So click on this. Okay, you will see this dialog box where you can start adding content to it. Okay, so the first one is project. It displays the name of the project which you have selected in the previous step. I'll leave it as it is. By default, it will show the project you selected in the previous step. So that's online marketplace. I want to add an issue against that project. Okay, this is the most important field you need to select. You need to decide and say, okay, which issue type you're selecting. So let's start with an epic. I'm saying that's an epic I want to create. Okay, that's my epic name. Give a short name to your epic. Enable multiple payment options. Summary is like a synopsis of your epic. Just by reading that one sentence, your audience should be able to understand what that epic is all about, right? So you don't need to write a long, lengthy paragraph here, just one line. It's a one-liner. I'm putting like this epic allows customer to make payment using different payment options. That's a reporter who is reporting it. Component is like you can create subsections or you can create categories, modules within one big project, right? So here I'm kind of, my project is all about creating an online portal, shopping portal, something like Amazon. So you can break this big system into smaller components or think about it like modules. So we have account management, analytics, shopping cart, payment processing, reporting. So these are the big categories or the modules within one large system. And this particular epic is more about payment processing. So I will select this option, right? So you can select any one of this. You can select more, multiple if that's applicable. But component is nothing but you're breaking this big system or big application into smaller modules. Okay, here I will put the description of this epic, which is, as a customer, I want to make a payment using multiple payment options. It can be Visa, Master, Amex, checking, PayPal, so that I can purchase my desired product, right? So now we know why it's an epic, because we can vertically slice this one big epic into smaller stories. Okay, version is the release in which this epic will be delivered. So let's suppose you know that this particular epic is being delivered in release 1. Select that. If you think that this epic is going to be delivered across multiple releases, you can select more, release 1 and 2, because it's not going to be delivered in one release. Part of it will be in one release, part of it will be in next release, right? So depending on your context, you can select that option. Okay, priority is always set by the product owner. So in this case, let's suppose he or she says that this one has to be highest. So select that option. Now label is something like, you want to do some search and pull out all the issues which are based on that one tag. So it's like a tagging. You are tagging this epic, and this tag will help you pull out the data when you want to do some, data extraction. So I will say payment, or you can add some more labels depending on what you want to use. You want to upload a document, go and select your file and upload. Let's suppose I'll go here, just select a dummy document. Right, so that's about the document. Attachment, linked issues. So here you can link or you can associate two existing issues. It can be between the same project, it can be across multiple projects, it can be across Jira and Confluence. You can also link an issue with a web page which is outside of your whole Jira and Confluence. So you can do that as well, right? So right now we don't have anything. I'll just leave it blank. You can assign it to someone who is in your team, or you want to assign it to yourself. Just click on assign to me, and there you go. Epic, you cannot link an epic with another epic, right? Because epic itself is at the topmost level. That's why it says epic cannot have another epic linked to it. But when you go to the story, you can see that you can link an epic with a story, because that's a parent-child relationship you can have. Here you cannot because Epic itself is at the parent level. Click on create. Now here you don't see this. Even though we added this Epic into the backlog, it's not here. The reason is it's an Epic. It will be in the Epic panel right here. Okay, so now since we have an Epic, let's go and add a story to it. So again, I click here. Now from this option, I will select the user story, right? Because we already have an Epic. Now I want to create a story underneath that. So I click or I opt for user story. Again, I have the label or the title of the story here. Enable payment option. So enable PayPal account option, right? So that's the one I'm writing. Again, the reporter is the one who is creating it. Okay, you want to select the component. It's a payment, so I will go with the process payment. Oops, sorry, not here. That's the description of my story. As a customer, I want to make the payment using my PayPal account so that I can purchase my desired product. So that goes in here. Fix version. Let's suppose we know that this particular story is being delivered in release 1. There you go, you select that. Again, the PO says this has to be the highest one. Okay, we select the highest. Again, label, I can put payment, PayPal option, right? So some tags we are using so that we can extract the data when we need it. Here, I can say that linked issues. This issue relates to, I want to say this is connected or related to an Epic, right? As I said, I can also relate it or connect it, associate this with a Confluence page. I can just use that and build a relationship between this issue and that particular component in Confluence. Assigning, I want to assign it to myself again. Now this is important. When I say Epic link, you can only do this when you are at a child level. So as I said, you cannot have an Epic link to another Epic, but you can have a story linked to an Epic. So I'm building a traceability between an Epic and a story. So I click here and select, okay, enable multiple payment options. That's the Epic we selected or we created a few minutes back. So I'll select that. Okay, I don't know which sprint I'm going to do it, so I'll leave it blank. Okay, this is the most important part of the story, to write the acceptance criteria so that we know when it's complete. So I'll go here and just copy this and paste it here. Didn't do. Okay, there you go. So I got everything here. Click create, and there you go. I have one issue in the backlog which is associated with this particular Epic. Okay, let's add one more. I want to add a bug to it. So go here. Now I'll select the bug. Right, go back to my sheet. Just select, or I'll just copy and paste it because I have the data here. So I'm saying a short, like a summary or synopsis of that bug here. Again, the component, which module it's associated with. I'm saying it's to do with the payment receipt. So most likely it's the same thing, process payment. Write the description of that issue, the bug, what's going on, what's the issue, what's the defect. So I'm saying user is unable to generate the order report in Microsoft Excel version. Okay, this seems to be a different, it's not to do with the process payment. It has to do with generate the order report. So that means, do I have a reporting? Yes, I have a reporting. I'll select that particular component. So make sure the component you are selecting is relevant to that issue you are dealing with. Okay, otherwise it won't make sense, and when you try to extract the data, you will not get the right data. Okay. Okay, same thing. Which release you want to fix it? Let's suppose we want to do it in release 2. Go with release 2. This is something we can deal, it's not very critical, it's not a showstopper. So the PO says keep it medium. We can do it as and when the time comes, as and when we have the bandwidth, so we can keep it medium. Okay, reporting again, you can, the label, you can say, you can select the right label. Here we are saying order reporting. Right, so you can create some labels, you can create some tags, you can use it for data extraction. Here you can put the environment, some more technical details, which environment, what's going on, all those things. But if you want to keep it blank, leave it blank, it's not that important. Okay, you can add some screenshots by uploading some documents. Just select. Right, so you can select a file which is sitting on your local machine. You can upload that. It can be a screenshot of the application, it can be wireframe, it can be any other document which can support your issue, which can give some more details to it. So you can upload that document here. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, here. Okay, linked issues. So this issue is related to, let's suppose we had a story which was dealing with generating this report. So you can link that story or this issue with that story. So right now we don't have it, but you got the idea, right? So you can build that relationship between this particular defect and the parent issue. I want to assign it to someone else. Let's suppose we want to assign it to John Doe. I'll select him. If you have an epic which is mapped to this particular defect, you can do that here. And same thing, if you want to associate a sprint with that, you can also do it from here. But let's leave it blank so that we know, we can see that getting into the backlog. Okay, so there you go. We have two issues in the backlog. One is a defect, one is a story. Right? And likewise, you can keep adding all of these issues into the backlog and groom your backlog. So grooming your backlog is not a one-time activity. It's a continuous process which happens. Most likely the product owner will be using the help or will be requiring some expertise from the business analyst to groom the backlog. A lot of times the business analyst will be grooming the backlog along with the PO, or he or she can also be the proxy PO who is grooming the backlog on behalf of some extended business stakeholders, right? So it can be any of these scenarios. But that's what the product backlog grooming is, and I hope you got the idea. You can keep adding issues likewise, whether it's an epic, whether it's a bug, whether it's a spike, technical task, or a story. It's basically the same thing. Just how we saw how we add the issues, you can use any of these issue types and add them into your backlog. Right, so that's basically about how to add issues into the backlog. I hope you enjoyed the session, and if you liked it, please do subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and once you subscribe, please click on the bell icon so that you can be alerted, you can be notified as and when we upload some more videos. Thanks for watching. See you. Bye.